Okay, so welcome to this brand new special interview series, the Millionaire Advisory Board interview series. Now, this is what is a Millionaire Advisory Board? This is a brand new community where we bring the best top founders from India who are running a more than $1 million businesses. And today, I'm going to bring to you the co-founder of Blubirch. They are the ones who handle the back end of this large e-commerce players. If, for example, if you when you return your phone, you return your whatever you purchase from these big e-commerce platforms, what happens to the backend? These are the people who handle those backend operations. Okay, and also today is a very special day because the company Blubirch has recently raised $6 million Series A funding. It's an excellent news. So we're going to talk more about that. So Amit is going to talk about how they grew their business, and also recently, I think it has been 5 years since I did my first ever interview, and it has been a brilliant journey since the day I did my first ever interview, and I've built a lot of this business around this content marketing. So if you are new to this, if you're getting started, please take this content marketing, this interview way very seriously because this can change your life. So I'm going to bring the co-founder of Blubirch to the main platform, Mr. Amit. Welcome to our special interview series.
Hi, Kashyap. Thanks for getting me here.
So,
Yeah.
so let us start from the origin. So, how did you start? Where did you start? Why did you start? Let's go there. Like, what is Blubirch all about?
Okay. So, just a moment on what is Blubirch because that may set the context down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So today, basically, anything that you return in India on most of the major platforms, the e-commerce platforms, a lot of OEMs, even modern retail chains that you see like Chromas, Reliance, etc. Most of it is handled on Blubirch platform. What that means, the underlying technology of getting these, processing these, what is to be done, the decision making and actually liquidating or getting these out of the system is done on our platform. So that is just a background. So we are three co-founders of this organization.
Mm-hmm.
Other two are Sapan Jain and JB Cherian.
Mm-hmm.
So me and Sapan were classmates back in 90s in ITBHU.
Mm-hmm.
And we were friends back then. We started our first job together. And then I went a separate way to IIM Calcutta, Infosys, etc. He went to INSEAD and he was in Europe. We ended up connecting again. And 2011 was when we both decided to come back to India.
Hmm.
I won't say that there was an idea to start something together. Was there an idea to start something? Yes. In isolation, there was, but nothing formed up. So 2013 was when Sapan connected with me, asked, telling that, this is a space which is going to grow. The returns, the managing that, etc. And our one of the earlier focus was also the laptop, desktops, etc. That companies like Infosys or Wipro or HCLs of the world, like the large organization, the laptops, etc., that come out. So that is where we thought we'll create a place because we saw many of these things going in landfills, e-waste being broken down. We thought, oh, there can be a market for these. If India has to come up, we need access to technology, and to
Mm-hmm.
get access to technology, we need cheaper access to infrastructure, and that is what prompted us to enter that field. Where our idea was, we'll get these laptops from the big organizations,
Mm-hmm.
see which are good ones, and provide these to you know the lower markets, the tier 3 cities, the villages, the outskirts of a lot of our organization, a lot of our cities. Will provide these to people at a lot lesser cost to them. So that was the initial idea. We started there, but so
Which
once
year was this?
so this
2015.
was, we are talking in 2013.
Okay. Uh-huh.
Now, one thing that we did, Kashyap, both me and Sapan and JB, all three of us, we got together. JB and Sapan, by the way, were colleagues in IBM together, so they knew each other, and that is where three of us got together.
Mm-hmm.
Now, one thing that we did was that we were clear that if we have to run such a company, and understand that our age was close to like 38, 39, 40. In fact, JB is even senior to us by a few years. So
Hmm,
we,
hmm,
we were not those young kids of 28 years, 30 years who can just try something. If it doesn't work out, jump back. So we planned a lot.
hmm, hmm.
That was the crux of Blubirch, the initial planning that we did. So what
2013, you're talking about 2013. You started the discussions. So you had not yet started the company, but you started talking about starting the business in 2013.
what will we start, and then it all went to the planning, that what is needed to run such a company.
How often would you meet? Is it online? You would talk? Would you meet in person?
We would meet. So I was heading sales for India, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh for financial services for a company called CSC, which became DXC.
Hmm.
Sapan was in Mumbai at that time. I had to travel a lot to Mumbai because financial services primarily, Mumbai is the financial capital. So I would go there often. So we would meet, we will talk. But by that time, the phone, etc., had progressed a lot. So we would talk on phone almost daily, discussing this. Then what we did was we created a list of what skills are needed to run such a company. And these were not lists like you need Java or you need this. It was more like, oh, you should have 200 CXOs on your speed dial. Oh, you should understand how a platform of e-commerce is scaled up, how it is built. What do the buyer base, whoever, see, any such inventory which is coming out, you have to sell to somebody, right? What do the buyers think? What language do they talk? So these are these kind of skills which you wrote on a
More
piece
of
of
the
paper.
business side of the skill, not the tech side of the skill.
Not the tech side. Tech was one part in that. Since both me and Sapan started as developers ourselves, we were in IT companies for long. Post I am in Infosys, I joined as a functional consultant, then a project manager, program manager. That entire journey that you have in IT world. We had been through that, so we were confident that, and that is what I'm coming to. So IT was a part to that. So there were 3 or 4 parts to that list that we created. First was something that we already had. We just ticked it. Okay, fine. I was into sales. Sapan was handling P&L at Asia Pacific level. JB was into strategy consulting. For long he was heading GBS for Asia Pac for or Asia, in fact, I think, for IBM. So some skills we had, some we decided, okay, we need to develop. So Sapan joined a major e-commerce company in Bangalore just to understand that the nitty-gritties of the e-commerce world.
Hmm,
I
hmm.
joined a smaller organization as their country head, so that all HR, admin, payroll, delivery, sales, everybody was reporting into me to see how things come together. How do we work together? JB left IBM, and he tried a few things, so that we had a complete understanding and handle on what we need to do tomorrow.
Hmm, hmm.
So as part of that, as I said, Sapan joined a company in Bangalore. So we all three ended up in Bangalore together. This was in 2014 that we left our jobs and joined new companies. 2015 starting was when we discussed, okay, enough is enough. Now we have got the skill set, let's launch it. Uh, so Sapan left his job in February of 2015. I left in July, and we both came. JB also joined us. There was another co-founder earlier, Katti, who left for different you know things. So 4 of us got together, and now there are 3 of us. So
Excellent. So,
that's
guys, if you're watching this live, you can ask questions. You can ask questions even if you're watching this offline. Please do make sure to like and comment so that we can take these questions live. And if you're watching this also offline, we'll be happy to answer your questions often as well.
guys. Also, if I am not clear in what I am saying, please give that feedback so that I can repeat something or say it differently, or if I miss something, because in live you don't do it very often, so sometimes you don't realize what you have missed.
True, true. And
So
also, this is a important. Just want to go a little bit detour because you were 39, 40 when you started, and there, a lot of people who are watching this could be in that range. So there is so much of uncertainty because they're already burnt up with a lot of experience, so much frustration. They have a family to take care of. So how much was that family factor to when you're deciding to start off something? How, I mean, How was the supporting ecosystem around you?
So Kashyap, see, I don't know if you ever heard it before. What are the top three addictions in the world? So one of them is sugar, the second is paycheck, and the third is heroin. The drug. So, of course, there were a lot of anxieties, there were a lot of pressures, thoughts in mind. What if it doesn't work? Because you are living a paycheck, and when you are at that level, country heads and all that for different areas. So it's very, it's not that easy. But what I would say is the kind of planning we did that really helped. So we knew what we were doing, and once you plan for next 5 days, then 15 days, then 1 month, and you see things progressing as per plan because you have planned it, it helps. That's what I
Hmm.
would say. But was
So
there family?
what was your failure threshold? Like, did you make a decision because you had a lot of planning, and plans could go wrong? So did you plan the failure as well? If things don't work, what would we do together?
No, see, that was one thing we were clear. Somewhere we had heard that you shouldn't have a plan B. If you want plan A to succeed, there should be no plan B.
Hmm.
But we had the cushion. Both, I mean, all three of us. Sapan is a UK national. I was a green card holder. JB is a US citizen. So we had that, backup somewhere with us. That even if it doesn't work, it's okay. We have something to fall back on. But was there a plan B? No. There was just a assurance care. Let's see. Ho jayega. Types. you
Hmm.
know but so just coming back, so one of the thing when Sapan was in Amazon, he realized that it's beyond laptops and IT that this industry needs, the reverse industry.
Hmm. Hmm.
uh, all the returns that are there, the everything needs management you know
Hmm. Hmm.
so we decided to expand our horizon from the IT world. So while we start in 2015, when we started with the on the IT side only. But by 2016, we had started experimenting on non-IT as well. And today, our non-IT portfolio is almost 7 to 8 times of the IT portfolio.
Hmm. 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 Excellent. So the transition. So you started as in IT, and then you transition to the current business model you have. So what was that phase like?
I won't call it transitioning. It was a natural growth kind of, because see, the crux of both. So what we had planned was a few things. One is we cannot get into B2C
Mm-hmm.
ourselves. There should be no component if in our plan of B2C. We should be the supporters to B2C company,
Mm-hmm.
and we should be in the B2B field.
Mm-hmm.
So that narrowed it down. Now, what was our first thought process was that anybody who has kind of asset with them, they need to get it out. We didn't want to be traders. We were very clear. We wanted to do everything using technology, because
Mm-hmm.
we believed very strongly that technology is the way going forward. So first thing that we created was a trading platform or a bidding platform, where our idea was, okay, we will get probably initially the laptops etc. from these IT companies, and later material from all the e-commerce companies. Get here, get buyers from the other side, and let buyers bid and buy on this material. So it will be a bulk sale kind of. So that
Mm-hmm.
was the first thing we started with. Pretty soon, when we were, and as part of our this thing, we would talk to a lot of buyers, understand what concerns they have, what do they look for, how do they work today, all of that. So we learned that most of these buyers are in the habit of looking at the material, such material, because another thing is we are talking about reverse inventory. Now reverse inventory is very too many ambiguities in there, I would say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't know the exact condition. Even if you have five, let's say, iPhones of the same kind, some may be broken, other may have accessory missing, some may have box damage, some may be seal packed. It can be anything. So a lot of
Mm-hmm.
ambiguity. So unless they would see it, they didn't want to buy. So then we said, okay, what if we provide those details, whatever you look at, on the platform itself? And that is where we created a second IP.
Mm-hmm.
So we created a grading tool where the items will be graded using a machine learning based tool. Um, Wherever possible, we did automation in that, but let's say you are checking a shirt, so what automation can you do in that? Not much, except clicking on photographs. So it's pretty advanced tool that way. So today on several organizations, anything that you return is graded on our tools.
Hmm.
Almost 75 to 400 categories are graded. Like TV is a category, washing machine is a category. Now they have thousands of SKUs within that.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
So that all is graded on our tool. So that there came our second IP of grading tool.
So tell me this now. So you're sorting all this now. Where is this inventory standing? Is it in your warehouses or is it with Amazon?
Client warehouses.
Uh-huh.
I'm not saying Amazon alone. It can be Flipkart, Puma, Reliance, like any organization you take.
Mm-hmm.
So the inventory is at client's place. Now another thing we were very clear was we will have an asset light model. We will not buy and sell. We are just technology and service provider.
Mm-hmm.
All services have to be tech enabled. So like the grading that was done on our tool, not by our team. So we created technology to support the reverse functions primarily.
Got it. So I
So
have a question. If you can, give me. I'm gonna read the question. So in terms of money, how much do you think to beat in India? Uh, okay, that's not a relevant question. Also, is money only a factor that can counter a good product?
um, see, is money needed, of course, to develop any product? By product, I assume you mean a IT product or an offering that we are building.
Hmm.
So of course you need money to build a product. I mean, developers are not cheap. IT is not cheap. You have to build quality. You definitely need money for that. And you would have seen the recent news, as Kashyap said, that that we just raised our Series A. So that was the idea, to grow further on this. So yeah, money is needed definitely. But is it the only factor? No. You need to have a plan. You need to understand the domain, the kind of knowledge, etc. Because
It is not just the vehicle, isn't it? You need to know how to drive the vehicle. Just if you're never driven in a car, and if you're given a Ferrari, you may crash it. So it is very important. Who runs the vehicle is also important. If you are a professional, then it is going to be different. So it looks like there is a tech issue. Stand by. So I am very sure Amit is going to come back. Um, so Amit, if you're hearing this, uh, if you can refresh and come back, I think my side of the signal shows that you have a internet issue on your side. If you can log in back, refresh the page and log in, click on the same link and come back, I'll be adding you back. So yes, guys. So he's talking. Amit is talking about this unexplored space about reverse logistics. A lot of these e-commerce players, when you return your product, what happens to them? That's where this space. I was talking to Amit before the call, before this show. I was asking him, "What about your competition?" He said, "I wish there was competition." That's where there's so many pockets of there's so many pockets of businesses that can be explored. A lot of there are spaces where competition is irrelevant. Right, Amit? Welcome back.
can you hear me now, Kashyap?
You can. You're back. You can
Oh, great,
speak right
great,
now.
great. Sorry for that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're talking about raising investment and then product, why it is important. Team, you're talking about the team.
Yeah, because that question came in between. But just coming back to the journey, so our second IP was the grading tool that we created.
Mm-hmm.
What we realized was that some of the clients started coming that, hey, these 5 items we don't want to put on the platform right now.
Hmm.
He said, why? They said, oh, I can claim insurance on it because I've got insurance on this item, which was
Hmm.
returned by my customer. He said, but you never did that before. So the answer came that we were not testing it before, so we didn't know what else can be done. I said, okay, what else can be done? So they told, oh, I can return it back to an insurance company, or I can return it to a brand when there is a manufacturing defect. I can put, if the item is good, I can sell it at a markdown rate, even though it is open. So they
Hmm.
had a lot of other options than just selling it out.
Hmm. Hmm.
So what we did was we studied those and we created the next IP, which was the disposition channels, the remarketing platform that we did. which is not just a bidding platform like earlier. We extended capabilities where, you know, the system will understand that this is an insurance issue. It will automatically connect with the insurance company to say, hey, these 5 items have come at my client's place today, take it. Here is the proof why they should be under insurance. Here is a proof why we are going to you brand, because these are the manufacturing defects that you have listed.
Hmm.
So this became a very powerful engine. So now, we had two IPs basically. One was the grading tool, second was a remarketing tool, which included a bidding platform, as well as a auto disposition connecting to insurance companies, markdown engine, lot of things.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. uh, we have to understand one thing, Kashyap, that this particular domain, which we are in, which is into reverse or returns, there is a lot of ambiguity. One example I gave earlier, that the condition can be different. How do you decide price of such items? Now, let's say whatever you have in the room around you, you call 5 people, ask them what should be the right price of these, and I'm sure you will get 5 different answers, and some may be drastically different than others. Even your old phone, you try to sell it to different people, you may get different quotes because
A
there is
different view, the different perspectives. Yeah.
and that is because there is no scientific way today or in the market, or a proven way or accepted way to price these items. That is where we have developed a pricing engine, that what is the right market core price for such an item. So we have
Can
developed.
you make an example for a phone, for example?
So see, like for example, what we did. So I'll give you one small example, from our earlier days. So one of our star players today in our team, I'll not take his name. He joined us as an intern back in 2015, 16, and we had nothing much to do. We had just started the company, so we asked him, "Okay, can you do some research on, what should be the cost of a phone, such a old phone?" So he took one phone, went to different markets in Bangalore, showed to people that, okay, I want to sell this. They will check a few things which he kept noting. Okay, somebody is checking for screen, somebody is checking for dent, somebody is checking for functionality. Nobody was checking all the things. People had different things that they were checking, and they would give a code. So
And
he
if there is any scratch, smallest scratch.
exactly. So somebody will check for a scratch. Somebody will just say, okay, it's an iPhone 5. That was the time of iPhone 5. So okay, iPhone 5, I'll give you this much. So he noted all of that, and he created a very beautiful algorithm which will run, and you put the some features it will ask you for, and it will give you a price related to that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because if you ultimately see anything, you will price based on how the components are working, how the functionality is working, is there package, is there bill along with that, etc. So we have transformed that into a product itself now, where
Hmm.
you put parameters of those, the one that system asks, it will give you a pricing based on a lot of factors. It even connects to internet and does some research on that, because things keep
Excellent.
fluctuating. So it's a pretty advanced pricing engine. We so
So
that's what.
what makes Blubirch unique? Why only you?
So
What is the package that you are bringing?
see, first of all, the system that we have created, nobody else in the world has looked at that. And Kashyap, that stems from the fact that reverse inventory is often a part of the business that is swept under the carpet in most organizations. You look at most of the organizations, you will not find somebody who is responsible. Somebody may be taking responsibility of it, but it's not a
Hmm.
defined role that you have to take care of return inventory, except for a few e-commerce companies where the volumes are too large to ignore. But everybody else, and you talk to anybody, their first reaction will be, oh, it's not a problem for me. So when that problem, for those who have the problem, and they don't agree that it's a problem for them, nobody wants to get into that area.
So how did you crack that? Because it must have been a tough, because they're very protective. That's kind of very hard, like the hard space. They've created a lot of boundaries. They don't want they don't want to accept there is a problem. How did you crack that?
See, ultimately, people have to accept it. It's a big number on the bottom line. Kashyap. Once you show them the numbers, you know, everybody is getting inventory today, such inventory. They have been getting since ages. And people had been liquidating also. Only thing was the management focus was not there.
Hmm. Hmm.
We are the only ones around the globe who have actually created a solution around it. And once you talk, for 15-20 minutes with any organization, they come to the point, yes, there may be a problem. Then, okay, yes, it is definitely a problem.
How
That's
would
how,
they how would they manage without you? Was it manual?
like what we do in our homes. We have a lot of old mobiles, laptops, etc. One day, suddenly, we'll wake up, we'll get everything together, get a kabadi wala or a scrap dealer, and hand it to them, right? Okay, they may not be that abrupt, it may be a timely activity, etc., but that's ultimately what they do. They have 5 6 buyers who may be a scrap dealer, who may be a secondary inventory dealer. They will just hand over to them. These guys form a cartel. There are 4 or 5. There are internal relationships with even the lower level staff at times, not everywhere, but at some places where they pick and choose good inventory out of that, etc., at throwaway prices. Ultimately, at our homes also, we are managing this. We also have a lot of inventory to throw out.
Hmm.
If you get an organized player who would come and buy all of that, you can see that there's a lot of value in those items as well.
Hmm. So, I mean, what, because you're cracking, because the two things are happening. One, you're trying to convince the company to take up your solution, which I know company will easily take, and then these cartels. The word you use is cartel. How scary was it for you? Like, confront that part. They may not be dangerous, but I think, did you see any kind of a resistance from them when you pitched in?
There was. I won't say that, but see, the what we did was differently, Kashyap. We first of all did not go for just liquidation of it. We tried to reduce it as far as possible. Like, for example, if you get a fridge today at your home and there's a small dent somewhere, of course you will return it saying, "Yeah, I'm buying a new one. Why should I accept it?" There is a clear dent on it. But if the company offers you, "Okay, sir, I'll give you 15% discount," chances you may keep it, right?
Hmm.
Same thing happens at you are taking one item. Think of dealers who are taking 100 items, etc. Small dents in 20 of those items. Rather than returning, they get extra discount. Okay, so there is a dynamic resolution that we do on site. We try to reduce the returns in the first place.
Hmm. Hmm.
That has been our starting point in terms of going to customers, telling them that when Kashyap returns a refrigerator, it is not just a loss of sale for you. He may buy another one, maybe, but all the expenses that you incurred in sending it comes back, the value erosion, the time loss. There is a chance Kashyap may not buy again from you. He may buy from somewhere else, so you may lose that entire business itself. But the
You
cost,
provide the consulting to the client to sell the product at a discount. Is that what you said?
not consulting, it's a system driven process. The system itself guides the pricing engine I was talking about, which
Mm-hmm.
tells that, hey, you can give a 10% discount for this item because otherwise your total cost will be 11% of the product cost.
Because it knows the cost of return and then the resell, etc. It is able
Exactly,
to
it knows
create
where
a,
you are, it can calculate a lot of things. So that
you're
is where
giving
this
a benefit to the
is
customer directly to continue to use the product.
yeah. So that's how we have developed that ecosystem, that right from when the customer says or the dealer says or the channel says we want to return something, how to
Mhm.
handle it from there till it comes back, then what to do with that and get it out.
Got it.
And all using a system, no, not nothing manual about it that way.
Excellent. That may go, because only systems can manage such a big volume. I'm very sure it's like a massive, massive churn. And humans cannot do this. Humans will keep
Exactly.
making mistakes. So let's go to the next question. So you had your plan, and you had made some goals starting from the day one of your business to now. What all challenges did you face? What all did not happen as per your plan, and how did you overcome
So, of course, there have been challenges, some large, some small along the way. You do some mistakes also along the way, which you need to course correct. uh, our first challenge, as you said, was convincing the first few set of customers with your offering. Can you do it or not? When you are today, okay, we have grown beyond that, where we can call ourselves a startup. We are just probably beyond that stage, but there was a time when this was the first. So first thing was the capital.
Hmm.
That is always a challenge. Anybody starting, I think somebody asked that question also, that is money a problem? It may not be a problem, but is it a challenge? Yes, you need to manage it.
Mhm.
For us, thankfully, things were, on that side were pretty well managed, because as I said, we did a lot of planning. We had everything on paper, how much capital we need, etc., from right from day one, and we had planned for that. We got some investors, thanks to them, pretty early also in the chain. But was that a problem? Yes. The second set of problem came during demonetization. You know, suddenly the capital dried up. Nobody, especially from the buyer side, because a lot of these guys, they have cash money, etc., who buy such material. Though we were not dealing in that, but there was a definite impact on business. So that threw away our plans further. Pandemic, of course, was everybody's issue, but some of the key challenges, I would say, was getting the right team. We have made some mistakes along the way, which we course corrected also, but that is always a challenge, because unless you work with somebody, etc., you won't know that is that the right fit or not. We have been lucky most of the time, like 90% of the time, but still here and there you end up making some mistakes on that.
Like, can you elaborate more on that? Because hiring is very, very important for an organization. Initially, people don't realize it, but after they have a wrong person, they realize, oh, I should have not hired him in the first place. So, can you elaborate a little bit? I'm very sure you don't have to take the names, but what was the mistake you made as you as a decision maker, and what was the circumstance you realized that I made a mistake?
So sometimes you make a mistake knowingly also, Kashyap,
Hmm.
because your budget. As a startup, you cannot pay more than this. You don't have a brand name in the market that you can attract the top talent. So whoever is coming to you, you are very, very open to ignoring some mistakes, some signs here and there. So I would say a known or a planned mistake, that I would say. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. But one area where I'll suggest people is that sales is an area where you need best of the people. Okay, especially with AI coming, etc., a lot of other areas probably can be managed much better, but sales is definitely one area where you need to have a great team. It's only now, in last couple of years, that we have been successful in that. Before that, except for us three founders, we didn't have much of a sales team. If probably we had a better sales team, we could have grown much faster, much earlier.
Hmm.
Again,
So, what was the sales mistake that you saw that you found out later that, oh my goodness, I lost an amazing opportunity? What was that like?
see, not having the right team itself is a mistake.
What do you mean by team? Is it a skill? Is it a how to have a system? How to have the sales process running?
See, okay, first of all, when you start a business, you are focused on building the technology, building the product, etc.
Mhm.
So you do not even plan for hiring too much of a sales team. And sometimes you realize, as we did, that we delayed it a lot in hiring a larger team for sales. Second, of course, sometimes for example, if you see, one of the closest area for us that comes when you're hiring somebody, maybe somebody from the logistics industry, you know who has worked with organization, material movement, looked at that. But later we realized, no, that is not the right fit for us. Probably a warehouse management system team would be a better fit for us than a logistic company. But or somebody with the existing connects in some particular area, like e-commerce companies or OEMs,
Hmm.
they may be a better fit. So realizing that itself takes some time. So that is a big challenge. You have to understand and think much more. But as a founder, when you are involved in so many things, you have so many other challenges to look at. Sometimes you delay these decisions, and
Hmm.
that is where the power of planning comes. See, for us, the challenges were not too many because we had planned everything on paper. Most, and this is one area that, what should be the exact skill set for sales, for example, was, too much deep that you can do at the planning stage. But beyond
Hmm.
that, we have been pretty good. From day one, we had a plan. We stuck to it. We seized opportunities that came on the way. It's not that we were too adamant, even if opportunity is coming. Like we went into non-IT side. You know, we developed a software further as and when we got some feedbacks.
Hmm. Hmm.
That way, the journey has been much smoother than other people that I've seen. One more thing I've seen as a challenge generally, which thankfully we didn't have to face, was that people often focus on one part of business, either sales or developing something too much or developing a product, and they ignore the other parts. But that is something that we avoided from day one. You can say either because of our 20 plus years of experience or whatever, but we avoided those challenges, thankfully.
I think let us talk about that aspect, because how much is this mindset, because sales and running, being an entrepreneur has to do a lot with mindset and that personal development. And can you throw some light on that part? I'm very sure Amit of today is a different person to what you were when you started off. What was that growth as you as co-founders, and you as a person? How much is that mindset, that differential important? What is that thing like?
So it is, see, Amit of 2015 or 13 maybe, and Amit of 2023, definitely different. Okay, mainly because the circumstances have changed, your entire organization has changed, your acceptance in the market has changed. Okay, the level of people, the kind of people you're talking to, the business you are chasing, that is different now. So primarily because of that, of course, you understand, you learn a lot. At that time, you are learning this domain, you are going with preconceived notions rather than your experience in that area. Now
Hmm.
this is an area, Kashyap, you will not find anybody readily available for your business. You have to develop, people have to understand this domain, etc. Now see, that particular challenge, as you said, the only way out of that is the planning that you can do. Okay, I have spoken to personally at least 50 startup founders so far, as I keep meeting them. And I have asked everybody, do you have your business plan on paper, on a document? None of them had. Okay. And this is something that I think as we were discussing, that this is an advice also for people. If you're starting, guys, please put a day or two just to put things on paper, write it down, you know. So one thing that I've realized is, further, as you said about the difference in Amit, one is the follow-ups that you do. Whatever you start with, you have to follow up on that. That is, that shows your personal credibility. That you have started something, you follow up. If you don't, other people will start ignoring you.
Follow up in the context of sales.
Context of sales, follow up in context of, even if you've asked a question to your team member, if you have followed up with a customer, you have made a promise to somebody that, oh, okay, I'll get back to you by 5 o'clock. You have to be there at 4:59, not later than that.
Hmm.
You have to be in front of them with a question, with a document, with a response, whatever. Okay, so
Right.
sorry, am I
Yeah.
audible?
So yeah, you're audible. You're definitely audible. So
Last time a phone
that
call,
is,
so I lost. So yeah.
that's not good. Not a problem. So people understand that's the life of an entrepreneur. Like
Can I
you have
just take a
plan.
minute,
Yeah, yeah,
Kashyap,
sure.
take a phone
Please,
call?
please do. Please do. Yes. Yeah. So I mean, this is what is the dynamic life of an entrepreneur. And if you are watching, if you are, so a lot of people, different types of people watch this kind of this our interview. You may also be someone who is looking to start up. This might be your second venture, third venture. The idea of this interview series is to see how you can avoid making mistakes, because these mistakes are done by seasoned entrepreneurs. and you can avoid learning from their mistakes, and you can become successful. So the whole idea is to make sure that what can you do to go to your next level without repeating those classic mistakes. So I mean, so let's come to the actual question. Okay,
Yeah.
the question is, you know the question, right? Looking back, what would you do differently, business wise, person wise? If you had one more shot at life,
Yeah.
I'm very sure you can pull back 2 years, 3 years, through 3 years back in your business.
So one thing, Kashyap, is first of all, as I said, expanding my sales team
Mm-hmm.
much earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that is something that I would do.
What,
But
what, what was stopping you from not doing it before?
see, the focus was on understanding the domain, building the market, and as a co-founder, you have limited resources in the beginning, so
Hmm.
you try to put off, unless you see it's really urgent, you feel, oh, you can do it. No, you are not Superman. You cannot do everything yourself. In our case, thankfully, we were three co-founders, so it was a little bit easier for us. But probably we should have expanded ourselves into sales, garnered more market earlier than this. Because now when we are going to the market, new areas, we are seeing lot more acceptance of our solution than we thought.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Second
So
is,
there was a belief challenge that you may not be ready as a product to go to the market. You may get rejected. Was that challenge?
no, actually that is what my second point was, that even though I say that we delayed expanding this, we reached out to a few customers much earlier than we should have. And we lost them for life. I cannot go back to them now because I didn't
Hmm.
have a ready solution at that time. I went in, they got excited with what we were building,
Hmm.
only to come back and realize that, oh, for next 6 months I don't have anything to take to them because my product is still building. So, or I didn't understand the domain fully, so I need some more time to get myself prepared.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
you have to be very clear that you approach especially some large clients, your focus clients, only when you are fully ready.
Hmm.
One. But then you have to, once you are ready, you have to move very fast in the market. Yeah.
So this is a little bit contradictory because you have a sales.
I know. See, it's like when I was approaching, I approached a few customers when I should have delayed.
Hmm.
Okay. Uh, but when I'm expanding my team, I should have done it earlier than what I did. I mean, after my solution was built, even after that, we delayed a little bit, just following up ourselves and not building a proper team around it.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that is something that I would like to, if I can go back and change, I would say delay approaching a few customers till my product was built. But once the product was built, get a bigger team much faster than we did.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I won't call it contradictory, but it was like, so because both don't happen in parallel.
True, and lot of times there is no fixed rule in entrepreneurship, right? Like there are a lot of things that are happening. There are contradictory situations. There's no right and a wrong. There is nothing like on stone. It keeps very dynamic. The environment keeps changing. There is a balance of a lot of things that keeps you need to, like as a founder, you're pulling multiple strings.
True, very well said. As a founder, you don't know, you don't anticipate things. Okay, and wherever you anticipate, not everything will go as per your plans, and contrary things will happen. Somebody will tell on your face your solution is great. Very next year, you meet somebody else and he said, "What are you talking about? It's not even a problem for the industry."
Hmm.
So you have to be ready for all of those. You know.
So other points. So we talk about two and anything else.
No, but what can we do? I think, as I said, Kashyap, because we planned a lot, and I'm putting that time and again because this is something I have seen people not doing. And believe me, we had 20 things written on paper which we have to follow on. There was a business plan around it, with steps what is to be done. So that's where the challenges were a little bit less for us.
Hmm.
So.
So what would you do differently, like looking back on the planning aspect of it?
Differently means,
Because there is always something better that can be done, right? There is always a better, efficient way of doing stuff.
Exactly. Now that I am getting into the MENA market, the UAE, I mean, I have asked this question myself at least three times. Why didn't I enter here 2 years back?
Hmm.
Because you go in, you realize, oh, so much, there is such a big need of this product in the market. And by this time, though, we should have gotten at least 10 to 15% market share here rather than starting new at this point. So move fast. That is what I would say. That is what I would have done faster than what we did actually.
Hmm. Hmm. And you also raised some capital, and we know. I think yesterday that was made public. You raised $6 million Series A.
Six and
Can
a
you talk about 6.5? Yeah. So can you talk about that part, because a lot of people are going after investors, you know, waiting for that approval from an investor to move forward. And I know you're a bootstrap company. Uh, so what is that mindset of a bootstrap company, and when was that raising capital? And were you always on a hunt to raise investment? Were you always trying to pitch? What was that like?
Okay. So, see, first of all, I would like to thank the current investors, okay, who put faith in us, especially at this time when there is a funding winter all around us. Like you won't be seeing so many news these days as compared to probably 4 years back, to even 2 years back or 3 years back. You know, so has it been challenges? Challenging it has been. We have been looking out for investment, but not very actively. We didn't want to dilute ourselves too much too early. As I said, it takes time to build a product, and then pandemic delayed things. So some of the discussions we were having, you know, got delayed a little bit. But I would say we were looking out for investors primarily because they also give you an edge in the market. They give you connects in the market. They're very well connected, the VCs. So that is where we were looking for a proper venture capitalist this time. We are lucky that Cornerstone Venture Partners has led it with a few others, and we got this funding closed.
So
It's not
where is, yeah? So where is Blubirch going into the future? What's the vision? I know you cannot run this forever. Where do you want to like see that as your end point?
see Kashyap, we are on a growth path right now. If you see, we have more than doubled in last 1 year, more than that, much more.
Mhm.
We are entering MENA market now. I've just set up a company in Dubai. Idea is to get into Saudi and Egypt as well pretty soon. Uh, the acceptance of our solution has increased multifold. We have just released a few new modules as well in that.
Mhm.
And SaaS as a domain itself is growing a lot. So
Mhm.
right now, to be frank, rather than thinking, what is our exit, where do we want to take it, etc., our focus is okay. Can I double myself in next 3 months, 6 months, 8 months? You know,
Mhm.
that is where all our energy is in right now. We want to see Blubirch growing into at least 25 to 30 countries, in next few years, and that can only happen, by moving aggressively, you know, getting into newer markets, etc. Once we taste success in one country, I think that will help us, fast track our entry into other areas, other countries as well.
Mhm.
So that is where we want to grow right now in new areas, new different countries as fast as possible.
Excellent. So what is the opportunity? Because I know you are a market leader. Very few people can do what you guys can do. What is the opportunity here for people who are watching, listening? They might be entrepreneurs. They might be people who want to work with you in the future. What is the opportunity here that they can work with you and explore together?
So a lot of opportunities. We are always looking out for you know good talent at an individual level. We are looking out for some channel partners for sales, etc., in different countries, like in UAE also. We are talking to a few organizations. We don't mind partnering at all. In fact, we I would say encourage that as far as possible. There are certain areas associated, like we have focused to being around that e-commerce industry. Similarly, the reverse automation industry, there are a lot of streams around it. So if anybody wants, I'm happy to connect with them. I don't want to give a generic advice here, what can be done, because I don't know the capabilities. Some people may take it wrongly. You give a a wrong picture to somebody with a different skill set, and that can be actually counterproductive,
Hmm.
I would say. I am always open to talk to people, guide them, give my experience. I don't say that I'm experienced enough to guide people, but I can at least tell them what my experience has been. I'm very open for that. I can help in connecting, if possible, mentoring them, etc., helping them out whatever possible. From a
Excellent.
Blubirch
So,
perspective, as I said, we are open for good talent. So if anybody is there who wants to work with us, connect
what
with
kind
us.
of are you looking at freshers or looking at experienced people?
See, in a growth path, freshers is not the answer. I would say that. Maybe in a few roles, okay, but we definitely need somebody experienced in different areas. It can be logistics, it can be IT, it can be sales, whatever. So we can do that, but freshers definitely not for any senior role, etc. Maybe a few positions here and there. So we do take a lot of interns from various organizations also, but that is for a temporary basis.
Okay, got it. So now you have had an amazing life, and you had ups and downs, lots of ups and downs. Uh, what has been your one big message lesson that you have experienced that you want to tell people, and you want to like talk about? What is that one big message that you got out of your life up to this point?
So I think one thing I've spoken about a lot of times is planning.
Mhm.
Okay. Definitely that. If you are an entrepreneur already, you want to take some guidance from somewhere, I will suggest a book to them. It's called Hard Thing About Hard Things by Ben Horowitz.
Mhm.
Has been my guiding principle. Okay. The only book I have seen which gives you very practical advices in different situations. When you are hiring somebody, what should be your thought process? If you have to fire somebody, if you're short of funds, you have to go to new markets, whatever. Amazing book, I would say. So that's what I would suggest. Again, by planning, I also mean writing it down on a piece of paper. Okay, it may be a PPT, it may be on a spreadsheet, it can be in a format, etc. But please do that,
Why is that important?
because otherwise you are not going to be. It will change on the fly. See, once you have put it on paper, it doesn't change. You don't miss things.
Hmm.
Whenever I have an internal meeting, also I always write down the points I need to discuss in that meeting. With that, and believe me, more often than not, I realized when I look at those notes during the meeting towards the end of it, oh, these two things I missed. Let's discuss these also.
Got it. So for there are people who are going through low points and struggling and rejections, troubles, and I'm very sure all of us go through that. And what would be your message? And all of us are flawed, no doubt. What would be a message to come out of those low points? Because all of us do go through.
Sorry, I lost you. Can you hear me, Kashyap?
Yeah, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. So you were talking about the low points, etc., right?
Yes.
So, see, I've been lucky that way, right from the family side of things to my co-founders side of things, where I've had great support. Okay,
Mhm.
so not too much in terms of low points. Of course, there was a time when you're because of excessive work, you're not able to focus on your health, etc. This is something which I have started, taking it seriously now, because I recently had some health issues which I went through, and the doctor suggested, because of a lot of travel, a lot of stress. So I've started focusing on that. Otherwise, not much regrets. See, As a co-founder, of course, for many years you don't take a pay, you have to manage it from your savings, from your past, etc., but that is part of the journey. I won't call
Mm.
them low points. Okay. There has been not even a single day of self-doubt that, why did I leave my job, why did I, you know did, went into entrepreneurship, etc. Though I do ask people when they ask me about entrepreneurship that, see, if you want to lose your night's sleep, you know go ahead and start something. Okay. But
Is it a get rich quick scheme? Is it how it works? People start a business to become rich. Is that true?
see, everybody does everything to become rich at some point of time, Kashyap. That is always, if somebody tells me I am not doing a job to become rich, or I am not doing, starting a venture to make money, they're either fooling themselves or you. Okay. Very rarely, I know a couple of individuals who may not be doing things for money, but that is very, far and few.
Hmm.
Everybody, they should see, any organization will be successful if they are helping others. Helping others means, there has to be a monetary part of it, otherwise your entire venture is not sustainable. So you have to make money.
True.
Okay, and there's no shame in that. I always say, yes, we are, here to change the world the way the reverse inventory or the reverse world works, but we are also here to make money for us, our shareholders, our investors, our employees, everybody. It's not only for us. If we don't work for money, I'll not be able to pay salaries tomorrow. We have got what, 250 people now almost. So we need to earn to make, pay them also. So of course, yes, they should have that. Somebody tells me I'm not doing it for money, no, they will not be, able to take it very far then.
Excellent. Good. So I think we have come to the end of the interview. Any last points you want to leave that I have not asked you? Anything that I missed out on?
No, thanks a lot for this. Okay, the I you're doing a great job. That is what I would say, Kashyap. Really love your energy, the way you connected, came to meet me, etc. So you're doing a great job. I hope to see this club, growing pretty soon. As a
Yes, yes,
mentor,
yes. Yeah,
you're
that's what. So
starting.
yeah, it is not easy, Amit. I mean, as you can see, as a bootstrap business, of course, a lot of avenues for us to raise investment also for this. There are a lot of similar platforms. I recently got to know that a similar platform raised $5 million as a startup just to create something similar to this. So we're doing it completely through organic way. We're connecting with people through our own personal connections, doing this. So yeah, if you're watching this, if you can connect with us, we are going to launch this program, the Million Advisory Board, in January after this World Cup, because we didn't want to mix this World Cup. So we're looking forward to launching this platform. I'm very sure a lot of energetic people like you, when they come together, we can actually accelerate our businesses, learn from others' mistakes, learn from others' connections. A lot of doing joint ventures, using other teams. So much possibilities. I'm so excited for that possibility. So therefore, we're taking it slow ourselves, creating all the systems at the back end, working hard, creating teams, etc. Is what is keeping us really excited about. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Amit,
Yeah.
and I look forward to working with you. Guys, if you're watching this, if you need any help with your venture when it comes to growth, when it comes to, we're also into the M&A investments, etc. If you're looking for any kind of a help, do reach out to us. We have a lot of experts who can help you. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Next, other interviews, we're bringing other founders as well as we speak. So excited to have this first session with Amit. Such a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks everybody who joined us here. Thank you.